Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at what the Cardano price is doing, also what Bitcoin is doing. We start with Bitcoin briefly because at the moment Bitcoin is leading the market with the latest moves, and yesterday I made a video on, was it decision day or not, and I think we had a decision at least for Bitcoin, and we're going to take a look at that now. Very excited about that. Looking good. The daily candle has closed above a important level, and we're going to take a look at that now. Start with Bitcoin because it has such a big impact on Cardano as well, especially at the moment, and on the very large most cryptos in the crypto market, because Bitcoin has broken out of that resistance zone here, which you can see here, where the top was at 48.8k. It was exactly at 48,819 US dollars, and we have closed the candle above that. We actually came to the target. I think I gave it to you in a previous video, but that was only based on that triangle formation here. That was here, this level, which we had on the chart for a few days now, the 49,250 or 49,300, that resistance zone here, or resistance level. We found some resistance here, but here on the smaller time scale, we already broke through it, retested it, and we're going to take a look at the smaller time frame, lower time frame. But we can see that the indicators are continuing to go up. That is a really good sign. We had the zero cross of the MACD, a buy signal. We had the RSI going above 50 and staying above 50, and we can't make out a bearish divergence at the moment, which is good. And we can see that on the ADX, the trend indicator as well, we have a long signal, and we are still in an uptrend as well. So the indicators are confirming what we can see in the price, which is really positive. We have broken a very important level, and let's take a look. I think we have retested that important level. Yes, we did yesterday. So a really positive confirmation. We are seeing higher highs now. We are seeing higher lows as well. So a higher low here. We made a higher high. We pushed up above that 49,200 level, and we actually found support then again at the, we retested basically the 48.8. We dropped a little bit more, but we stayed above that level. You can see it here. We stayed above 48,900. We moved up again, and we at the moment we stay sort of above that level where we were here yesterday, this fake breakout, and we're making higher highs and higher lows. So what we can see here on the short-term time frame is a bit of a bearish divergence, but that's only on the hourly, and I guess that has to do with the retest of that level at the moment. And if that retest is successful and we really see a sustainable breakout to the upside, so I would like to see a few more green candles here now, because we had a retest. Yes, 2 green candles, but not yet a sustainable breakout to the upside. We continue to stay around that level, and I just want that a little bit more, that push to the upside. But it's looking increasingly good, and I think we close the daily candle above that level. The likelihood that we continue our way to the upside really increases now, and I'm starting to turn super bullish on Bitcoin again. Next target here is clearly the 50,500 on Bitcoin. And to show you why, let's just zoom out a little bit, and then we can continue with Cardano. 50,500. Let me just zoom out a little bit. There you go. We had a lot of support here, up here at 50,500. You might remember it when we were in this ascending wedge with Bitcoin a few weeks ago. In our uptrend, we continued to bounce off that level before we actually one time managed to get higher and broke to the 53,000. And after 50,500, as I just said, it is 53,000. Right, now let's go to Cardano. Okay, here we are on the Cardano chart, and I know a lot of people are disappointed, and I always say, if you're disappointed by an investment, you are already emotionally attached. You need to try to decouple yourself from that. I did say yesterday in the video, Cardano always has phases where nothing happens for a long time, but then very quickly, as you can see here, it catches up and surprises us all. And then if you're not in it, you're oftentimes too late unless you're really switched on and get into the trend very, very early. I think Cardano is coiling up for something big. And we had that triangle here on the chart now for a few times. And in my view, it is a symmetrical triangle. It's not a descending triangle, it's a symmetrical triangle. You can clearly see that on the daily here. Symmetrical triangle, especially with Bitcoin coming up, is a trend continuation pattern. Now, I would have said, you know, had Bitcoin dropped down, I would have said it's more likely to come to the downside, pretty much because we were in this short-term downtrend here and making lower highs. But what we can see here, that we really might have seen that trend reversal already coming, and that we're making higher lows now, which I think is good news, and we're getting closer to the apex. So I did say yesterday, we just need that bit more patience. And I think with Bitcoin going up, if it really holds above that level, which seems likely because the daily candle has closed above the 48.8K, then Cardano will follow. I think what Cardano is waiting for is that confirmation, really. I mean, we've had the confirmation that we closed above the level. That was the first heads up, but Bitcoin now needs to move away from that level. We've retested that level successfully, but again, Bitcoin now needs to move away from it. And that, I think, might then be the confirmation that Cardano needs to move to the upside and follow. Cardano is clearly coiling up for something. It's sort of caught in this triangle at the moment, waiting for the breakout. Depending on when the breakout happens, you know, we take the height of that triangle. That will give you the target. And if we take that triangle from here, where we had the first touch of that support and the resistance line, and then we add it to a potential breakout, you know, depending on when it happens, it really influences the price target. So if the breakout happened now or today, you know, we could assume a price of around 275, which would be great, which would take us above 265. When those candles really closed at the, I think that was the, you know, we came down in an A, B, C correction. That would have been the B correction, you know, close of that above these levels. That would be great. If we have to wait a few more days, you know, the breakout might happen here and might take us to 263. I did say when it goes down, it could take us down to 170, but I think I would be very, very surprised, and I think most people would be, if Cardano really broke to the downside while Bitcoin goes up. I can't see that. It's still, you know, nothing can be ruled out. Never in financial markets, you never know. There are market makers in the market that you can't predict things. You know, you need to wait for a breakout before you can make a decision on your trade normally, unless you want to speculate. But you know, it would be extremely unlikely. And I think, as I said, if Bitcoin continues to move up, Cardano will follow. Cardano is just coiling up for something. The spring, you know, the price action is getting condensed, tension is growing. So we just need to have that bit more patience. And then I'm sure Cardano will follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin seems to go up. So let's just have that bit more patience. You can clearly see that the decision point is coming latest, I would say, on the weekend. You can see the apex here is currently sitting on the 10th of October. That is the current weekend, Sunday. And it will certainly be an exciting week. Even though it looks a bit boring now, I can understand that, because Cardano is just moving sort of sideways at the moment, just moving into this apex. But you know, you hear it on this channel, something big is coming, you know, we're coiling up for something, and it looks boring always when this happens. You know, when you're coiling up for something, the price doesn't seem to move at all. A lot of frustrated people in the comments. I always see that sentiment, but it is just the nature of it. You know, we're just moving into this pattern, and we don't easily break out of that. We need some volume. We need a final decision with Bitcoin, and then we are probably going to follow. The indicators start to look a little bit better. We have the MACD, making another green bar here. We had a bullish cross on the MACD here on the daily. The RSI is still below 50, but we're making here higher highs on the RSI, even though only slightly. And maybe in the next move, we're going to move above the 50 line, which would then be into bullish territory. However, here on the ADX, we are still seeing a short signal at the moment, but we always need to see the big picture. And, you know, everything's following Bitcoin typically after a while. Not everything, but a lot of cryptos like Cardano typically. And if we take a look, you know, at Ethereum very briefly, just without doing a technical analysis, but you can see that Ethereum is also still a little bit away from that level from which it will break out. And that level is sitting at around 3,680 up here, while Bitcoin is already above that level. You can see that above the 48.8K. Ethereum as well isn't there, and Ethereum as well is coiling up for something, right? You can see that just without drawing a triangle, you can see that Ethereum is also in this expected move, before this expected move to the upside potentially, like Bitcoin has done it. So yeah, it just needs that bit of patience. Let's take a look at the hourly, if we can see anything else. And let me just make that a bit larger, a bit clearer here before I finish the video. And of course, if something happens, there will be an update later today. And you can see that volatility actually, you know, it's just a lot of up and down. The candles are getting longer. A lot of indecision at the moment in the market as well. And you can see here the white line, which in my view, which was that descending wedge. And you can see that was a valid trend line coming down here. Yeah, a lot of touch points. We actually broke above that here, which was on the 2nd of October. We broke below that. You can see we retested it. And actually we've broken just above it again. So that was the first, it would be for me the first heads up that something big is coming. And we're still below that orange formation, you know, the within that orange triangle. So we just need to wait for the breakout from there. And again, on the hourly, it's also looking good. You know, we get a potential buy signal today here on the hourly candle, on the hourly chart of Cardano, because we can see it here. We are going to cross the zero line very, very shortly. That could be a buy signal. We're also getting into the bullish range here for Cardano, which is positive as well on the shorter term time frame. We were oversold here, so yes, you can see potentially a buy signal here. And we had a long signal on the hourly time frame as well. So maybe the price is going to go up in the next few hours, and potentially we attempt to break out to the upside. Let's see, but we're coiling up for something big. And that orange line here, just want to let you know, is currently sitting at 227, 228. And I expect some resistance when we get to that level. So watch that level closely. If we get above 228, the next resistance is already here. We're just going into that resistance zone actually, but we had support here at 232. Yeah, so 227 and then probably 232, but that whole zone here is a bit of a resistance zone, and we need to get out of that. I think above 236 is where you really see some buying pressure coming in. All right, so hopefully you liked that video. If you did, please smash the like button, and if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.